All right, guys, welcome back to another episode GPPD podcast. Me and Nate here. We're gonna sit down with Dakota.
Back together finally.
I know it's been a while.
It's been a long time.
Yeah,
I've been lying for you every time too. Every time you're not here, I'm just like, hey, that doing police work.
I was at home. I'm taking care of the fam. Okay, so we're here with Dakota. I appreciate you, bro, coming in.
Yep.
I know it's a little different, but
Definitely.
it's just a conversation.
Yep.
We're gonna talk to you and get to know you a little bit. So before we get started, couple things. Let's put it out there. So January 13th, civil service test. I know we're gonna have it here, GP, and another one, same date on the 13th, out in Ontario, California. So all my West Coast peeps, if y'all out there listening, still get online, get registered so that you can go out and take the test. Not that bad, especially all my laterals.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah, piece of cake. What else? Oh, so grandprairiepolice.org for all of the other positions. So a lot of people that are listening, I know men and women, we need detention bad.
Yeah.
You can work in our jails. Good pay. I want to say every other weekend off, similar to police. We also need dispatch, 911 dispatchers or call takers.
You know, on the detention side of things, I think I brought it up a couple of times now, but they're not only have they gotten a significant pay raise to put them among the best in the state there, but they're also paying for college outright. Like no reimbursement program or anything. They're just paying for the. I believe it's a specific school that you go to.
Yeah.
But also it's a really good kind of pipeline to get into law enforcement if you don't have the college degree already. You're not sure if it's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's nice. That's cool. All right, so check all of that out and get that information in. So we will get started. So this was of course I know Dakota. I've seen him in passing, but like to sit down and talk to him. This is the first time, so I appreciate you, bro. So I first want to start with though, because of course we're coming off of these holidays. Everybody's fat and full. How were your holidays, bro?
That was good. Got to spend it with the family, and kids were down, so nothing too exciting, too crazy.
Yeah. See, mine was crazy. It was ice cream, cookies, and brownies.
Oh yeah,
every
the
night.
diet was horrible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I'm sure we're gonna be like every other gym in America. You know, everybody's in there working out.
Oh yeah.
I love that you pay so close attention to your health and whatnot. Or we're like, oh yeah, it was crazy. I'm thinking like some family members got in a fight, like there's alcohol poisoning. You're like, nah, I had ice cream, dude. I had ice cream.
No, bro. Let me tell you. So every night it was, Daddy, can we have some cookies and ice cream? I'm like, man, I was baking, bro. I put an apron on. I was working.
My kids got like a jumbo pack of what do they call it? Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah.
I swear to God, they've been eating those things for like breakfast and lunch at least.
Yeah.
Those are great little pre-workout snacks too, though. Sour Patch Kids.
Well, that's not what my kids are using for. My kids are using them so they can eat them and then sit in front of TV and then stay up all night.
Yeah. Stay up all night. So, all right, Dakota, tell me. So, let's talk first. Like, how did you just end up in law enforcement? Like, how'd you get here?
The law enforcement in general. My mom was a district attorney or assistant district attorney, and then she married my stepdad when my first through sixth grade year. They were married for about 6 years. He was a chief of police in a small agency.
Yeah.
And then my cousin's husband was in law enforcement. And now the guy that my mom remarried is a retired trooper. Yeah. So I've been around law enforcement for ever. Like there was never anything else that I thought I was going to do besides law enforcement.
Yeah.
Like military and law enforcement, there was only two things. So
Yeah.
Now, you're not from here, so
No.
like your mom, is she DA?
yeah, Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She was ADA in Oklahoma for 12, 14 years, and then she went over to private practice. So now she's she works for the public defender's office. So so she can get her state benefits.
That's a flip.
Oh yeah.
Man, I love to talk to her about that.
I was gonna say, no, you tell her we need her because I want to hear some of the things that she's seen.
Oh yeah.
Jeez, I bet that's crazy.
Yep.
So, like, when you're the city attorney or the assistant, like, does she need a security team? Like, because I can tell you, coming from or seeing other big cities, some of those guys that are women, they have their own little security teams. Did y'all have things like that, or was she?
No, it was a smaller town.
Oh, small town.
Yeah, it was like her and one other ADA so it was the DA, then her and one other one. And then she went to another agency or another like department for a few years that was a little bit bigger, but she was only at that one for like 4 years. So,
So was there any like drama? Like you watch TV shows, like the little town, you got like 2 or 3 district attorneys, and like there's all I got to prosecute this guy that I know, or this any kind of that, or
your uncle get locked up.
we didn't have any family there, so it wasn't anything like that. So if there was drama within like that, I was too young to know. That was like my 1st through 5th grade year, 6th grade year. So before we moved back to Western Oklahoma. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So are you a Sooner or?
Lean more towards OSU. That's because my entire family is Sooners, and I just like to make them mad.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
I like it. Speaking of football, what's it like being named after the greatest quarterback in the NFL?
I mean, I think I'm older than him. So. But yeah, I never had anybody call me Dak until I moved to Texas. And then,
really?
Like the guys on the softball team and stuff, not the ones that like play for the department one, but the other team. My name on the roster was Dak. I was like, "Who's Dak?" They're like, "You." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Sure.
Yeah. It was always Coda. If anyone like they just put the D and the A off, it was just Coda. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was first time I heard Dak was once I was here. I didn't even know that Dak Prescott's name was Dakota until like later on.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and see, that was my first time hearing it right now. So I was just lost in the whole show. I played it off well. I'm like, dang.
So you play sports growing up?
Yeah.
What did you play?
Basketball, football, ran track, played soccer.
Oh, cool.
And did a little bit of baseball early on. I should have stayed with it, but my mom let me quit early, and then I fell off and talked myself out of going back into it because I was afraid everyone was going to be miles ahead of me.
Right. Yeah.
So, but that's probably the sport that I wish I would have stayed with the most. So,
Talking about baseball?
yeah.
Yeah.
It seems to be the most versatile one, man.
Yep.
It seems like it has the most. You have so many other players in other sports that came from have a baseball, background. They credit it with so much. I saw something over the weekend. Like Wayne Gretzky was talking in an interview, and he credited his baseball time with being helping him be successful in hockey.
Yeah.
Which I would have thought there was a whole lot of. I guess maybe the hand-eye coordination, but.
I think the work ethic a lot with that because usually they're doing it multiple seasons through the year, and the kids play select and stuff. So like. You know how that is. Like you're doing it all year with practices, games, and leagues.
I'm big on forcing them to take time off. Like our season ends in fall, and we don't do nothing at all. Every once in a while, I'll let them play. Maybe play another sport. That's not taking it seriously. But like February, they kind of start ramping back up.
Yeah.
And wife and I were like talking to each other this weekend. It's like, man. About to get crazy again. It's like we really kind of enjoyed this past little
break.
Yeah, but I think personally, I think it's important to kind of get that fire going back. Like, hey, I miss being out there. Like I want to get back out there, as opposed to just
the constant grind,
train. Yeah. So, and that's mom and dad keep their sanity a little bit.
Yeah. What position did you play in football?
Receiver and corner.
What did that 40 time look like?
I couldn't even tell you now. Definitely not as fast. It was a 4A school in Western Oklahoma, so I wasn't setting any records.
Awesome.
All right. So at what point? Well, you said growing up around law enforcement, so you knew early on, hey, I want to be a police officer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just never any like thoughts of anything else. Like I wasn't a sit behind the desk, which is counterproductive to what I'm doing right now, but like at the academy. But I never wanted to be like a desk person. I never wanted to be like, it was always, I wanted to do stuff. Even when I went like to the military, one of the guys who was like pivotal in me like getting into the military, he was a sergeant major at the time and found out that I was talking to like an Army Reserves recruiter, and he's like, what do you want to do? I was like, infantry. And so even then he was just like, nope, you need to go to the Guard or active because you're not going to get that through the reserves. And so there's never been I wanted to do the fun stuff.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What branch? You said Army, I guess.
National Guard, yeah.
Cool. Awesome. When were you in?
05 to 2020. So.
You look good for your age.
I got in when I was a junior, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do split ops in the Guard. So, like, between my junior and senior year, I went to basic. And then after I graduated my senior year, I went back and did the school side of it, so the infantry side.
So kind of like the officer programs.
Yeah,
where
kind of.
You'll split it up. Nice.
That's different. I've never heard that.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do it that young though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not nearly as fun because usually when you transition into like the AIT side, which is the school side of it, it's a much easier, like more gentleman type program unless you mess up. But when you have a year off, you come back into like basic training style again.
Gotcha.
So
that makes sense.
But it's a lot easier just to knock it all out at once.
Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't think about that. Yeah, because you go back home and kind of get back with all your old buddies and back in your old habits and got to beat it out of you again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They retrain you.
You get the shark attack twice instead of just the once.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's no fun.
Yeah.
So you started off your law enforcement career when?
So I got back from Afghanistan in like March of 2012, and I think I started with my other agency in June or July of 2012.
Okay.
So
would you consider that a small agency, I guess, compared to Grand Prairie? Would you say you came from a smaller or a bigger agency?
comparable in size as far as sworn, but duties within a sheriff's office, much smaller patrol. Area was much larger to patrol, but population was bigger.
Yeah.
But it was, we only would have like minimum shift for us was like 5.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, which is horrible. We should have never had that low to begin with. But like a good night would be like 10 of us on. So we'd have multiple people on all sides of the city. Because if you were working north side and you had to run code to south side, you were running code for like 30 minutes.
Oof.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So
Was it mostly urban or rural?
it's around a big city, so it's a lot of urban, but there is some rural on the outsides.
Yeah.
So.
Did you what are, as somebody who, even as long as I've been a cop, to me the only thing I know about sheriff's departments is that they used to take accidents for us.
See, we didn't.
Oh, really? Yeah. So like, what are some of the big differences between working as a sheriff's deputy versus being a city cop?
Just bigger area for the most part. Like we didn't work accidents at all. So OHP worked ours if we weren't going to do it, which was the highway patrol there.
Okay.
So or one of the cities if it was one of the cities.
That's nice. That would take out half my stress in patrol.
No, I was about to say,
Yeah. I mean, it leaves you a lot more time to do like proactive stuff and all that stuff. You like roll up on an accident, you're like, all right, I'll just wait till someone gets here and
That's nice.
then roll off. But there is a lot of civil process stuff. But we usually had deputies, like instead of having like where we have constables here that go out and do this stuff, like they were all under one department. So there was all under the sheriff's office.
Okay.
And so you had like a civil area, and they would do like evictions and all that kind of stuff. And, Yeah. So.
Yeah, that would get old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't.
That's another one of those things that's just kind of like this magical gray area. We're just like, that's a civil issue.
Yeah.
He taking the TV, man. There's nothing I can do. I don't.
Yeah. I mean, if it was a civil issue, it wasn't like we would stand there and do it. We'd be like, no, you need to set something up with the
guys,
courts and stuff. And so,
Yeah.
So how long did you do that for?
I was there from June or July of 2012 until December of 18, and I started here January 19. Wow. So, yeah.
What made you decide to come to Texas? I mean, I guess what made you decide to leave your department, but then on top of that, moving states.
Yeah. Retirement's was way better down here.
Okay.
So the life for the family would be a whole lot better down here. Pay was a lot better down here. I had a bunch of friends that worked for different agencies around. Yeah. And everyone was like, "No, you need to go to Grand Prairie." No one was recommending their own department. They were all recommending. They were all recommending me come to Grand Prairie. Yeah. And that's when Chief Dye was still here, and so they were all talking about him and all the stories that they had heard, and so that was I came down and did a ride along, took the test, and then I was sold.
Yes.
Believe it or not, that has happened. We've talked to many officers where we've heard that exact story.
Yep.
You know, it's kind of like, hey, bro, I work for such and such, but go to GP. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
What is
Hell,
going
in
on?
our old department, people in our department would be saying, "Hey, you need to look at this department." It's either Grand Prairie or Garland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the two you hear about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier. That was like because I came in under Chief Daswell, but it was like the mindset. And he goes, "Let me tell you something. If you're coming in, KD, your family is just as important as the next person." And so, because where we came from, bro, you could literally do 18 years and you would be off Thursday, Friday. And so I'm walking in and he's going, "Yep, you're going to be off every other Saturday." And I'm like, "Okay, stop playing." Like, stop playing. I just got here. Stop playing. He's like, no. The way it was set up, everybody was getting every other weekend. And I just thought that was the coolest shit ever. I was like, oh, man, where do I sign? I'm good.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
It was the 12s for me. I love the 12s.
Yeah, I was on 8s, and it was the same thing. Like, you could be there forever, and you weren't going to get good days off. Like, you were going to be stuck on. You might get to midnight shift, because midnight shift would have been the good shift to be on if you weren't going to get days. Swing shift, like evening shift, was brutal. And then I was.
What hours is that?
So it was 4 to midnight.
Oh, see, I love that shift.
Well, it's awesome if you don't
shit.
have if you don't have kids. And,
Yeah.
like if you're single and like all that, yeah, it's cool because you know, no big deal. You get to sleep in and all that. But kids and trying to have a life and like family life and all that stuff, yeah, it was.
Yeah,
and then I think I had Wednesday, Thursday off. So yeah, yeah.
Look, if you get in trouble, you get Tuesday, Thursday off.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hated that swing shift just because you have to keep up with sunglasses. You know, like you come in the sun's up. I hated it for that reason. It was like, man, now it's dark. You like, okay, where's my flashlight? Put my glasses up, my shades. I was like, it was too much.
See, one of my favorite times in policing is like right when the sun's setting, like right when you kind of have that transition period where you're out and about. Everybody's been going that was at work being normal. They're all heading home. They're already home, and then some of the bags start coming out, and you can watch this transition with the light, and it's a weird thing to be a part of. That's always one of my favorite times.
Yeah, that's funny. So let me ask you this: so how did you, way up in Oklahoma, how did you hear about Grand Prairie Police?
So. There used to be a like Instagram page called Fit Cops.
Fit Cops?
Yeah, and it was like they sold merchandise and stuff like that, but it was a group of cops, and a couple of them were local, or some of them were local, and I ended up being a like, I don't know what they call it, like rep or whatever at some point for them.
A model?
No, not a model. Not a model.
I was a model.
No, so I was.
We're gonna find pictures.
I ended up being a rep for them, and we had little like the rep parties and stuff like that would be here, and there were some that worked for the agencies, and when I started looking at coming down to Texas, I was like, man, I'm down here like multiple times a year coming down to like do things with them or hang out with them. I was like, let me look into it. And then when I saw not only like the career benefits, but the also like family benefits between like education and stuff like that compared to Texas to Oklahoma and all that kind of stuff, I was like, yeah, we need to look into it. So
yeah. Were you married when
I was married? Yep.
So what did your wife say when you're like, babe, we're going to Texas? And she's like, wait, whoa.
She was all about it. And then like the plan was I was coming down in January and they were coming down in May.
Oh, okay.
And I got through the academy and we're not married anymore. So I was already down here, had been down here for about 3 months. Yeah. And we ended up getting a divorce. And so it was just like, all right, now I got to figure out how to make this work. And I wasn't going to go back because like legitimately the pay was like double here compared to there. So I was like, yeah. So that's ever since then I've just been doing every other weekend I go up and I pick them up and bring them back down, and you get the summers and the holidays and stuff like that. So they love it. They like having the different places. So
yeah.
So
yeah, I was gonna say join the party. I was gonna say it's pretty much the same for me. It's like you get that first, third, and fifth, you know, and it's like, hey, it's Friday. What are you doing? But mine are my son is older now, so it's Dad, I have to work this week. I'm like, okay, bro, I'll see you next time. But yeah, so that's cool. So how long have you been married now?
I just got married in October.
Oh, newlywed.
yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was
What's
talking to somebody earlier, and I made a comment about you having a girlfriend. We're talking about Carrie.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm pretty sure they're married. And I was like, oh, okay. But that makes sense why we were kind of mixed up because it was recent.
Yeah, we were together for about 3 years.
Okay.
And then finally got married in October. So
Yeah.
So I guess you just didn't have an FTO that told you to stay away from dispatchers.
Yeah. yeah. I had Jefferson, so
Oh, okay. That's funny.
yeah, he wasn't the greatest of role model for that. So for a department,
funny.
I guess.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, so your wife, your current wife Carrie, is a dispatcher for our department. Does that add any kind of weird dynamic, especially when you're on the street?
No, when we used to work the same shift when we were dating and engaged, like everyone would be like, "Oh, well, she's not going to see." No, like she would be the one to send me to the DWI at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like,
No, sir.
I'm like, wait, how? Why me? And she's like, you're the next one. I was like, oh, all right. So,
like,
there was zero favoritism
Yeah, he
on
sent a message.
that.
Hey,
There was zero favoritism
I was trying
coming
to
back
get home
towards
to
me.
cook dinner for you.
Yeah. But that would suck too if you're at the house and you get in an argument before you go into work because you know that shift's gonna suck. It's like, God, I'm gonna get all the calls.
She's like, yeah, I'll show you.
There were definitely days where it was, eggshells around each other sometimes. But
Yeah.
it is what it is, and you get past it. So
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, her sister is married to a shift watch commander. That's what they call a lieutenant here on the department.
Oh yeah.
How is that?
He's just the same outside as he is inside. So
That is
oh yeah. He talks just as much in and out of uniform. So
And that's why I
That's
love
a lot
him.
of fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's why I love him. Oh,
Do you ever work on his shift?
no.
No.
No, so he was the lake when I got on, and then or he was my supervisor on FTO for a little bit, but he went to the lake and then promoted after that. So, and I was already on the other side. So
Very cool.
Yeah.
How was just work wise? How was the transition from Oklahoma down here?
night and day. Like,
Really?
oh yeah. So, like, I was on the dive team for 3 years, SWAT team for 3 years, and then we had a tracking team up there.
Okay.
And anytime that we did training, like here, we get training and we flex off, or it's incorporated in our day that we're normally working. So our training days were Tuesday, Wednesday for SWAT there, or they were Wednesdays. It was 2 Wednesdays a month, and tracking was, I think, one Thursday a month. And then, so when we get trained, they'd be like, "Oh no, we can't give you overtime," and then they put a cap on our comp time. And they're like, "Oh, we're gonna flex you," and so you'd get like random flexes. So it's like, "Oh, go home 2 hours early, go home 2 hours." Like, so you're like,
No.
So it like coming down here and having like overtime and being able to work and like being able to work the schedule and stuff like that. It's a lot different. They're a lot better now than they were beforehand. They were going through some growing pains up there at that point. So, but the guys I talk to now, like, it's a lot better. They've got a lot better pay.
Oh, good.
So, but it's still like I would never leave here.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I'm staying here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll. Some people where I come from, every once in a while, we'll bring it up, like, "Oh, hey, they're treating us better. And we have a different command staff now," and it's like, okay,
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm glad for you. I truly am. But I'll stay here.
Yeah.
How about legally? Were there any big changes as far as learning the differences in laws?
Just the verbiage.
Okay.
A lot of it's just verbiage. Having the different classes of misdemeanors and felonies here, where there it's just straight a misdemeanor or felony.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there wasn't like this level. Now the charging level changed depending on what they've done, how many times they've done it, something like that.
That's what I was gonna ask, because like a lot of times in misdemeanors you'll have a minimum sentence of say 6 months in jail versus a more severe misdemeanor might be a year to 18 months.
So instead of having like where it was just a blanket for, Class A or Class B, Class C would be this charge. It'd be based on the charge. It's a misdemeanor, but this is how long you can have. This is what your sentence is. So, yeah.
Huh.
So
basically the same result, just different.
yeah, just different name for it.
Yeah.
So that was a big change. And then Oklahoma had just went to really went liberal with their drug laws.
Okay.
And so I left there just on the when that stuff was starting. So
what are the laws out there now?
well, now they have the medicinal, and then for marijuana, and they had, I don't know if it's any different or if it's still the same, but it was going towards all possession charges unless it was trafficking was a misdemeanor for everything. Yeah, which created legal guidelines because the agency that does all the testing in their bylaws says that they won't test anything that's for a misdemeanor. So then how do you test?
Right.
So a lot of that stuff was getting shaken out when I was leaving.
Right.
So I'm not sure what they're doing now, but
Sir, let me write you a ticket. How much meth do you have? All right.
yeah.
That'd be weird.
Yeah.
What?
So I don't know if they ended up repealing any of that stuff. I just know that was the law that had gotten passed because a lot of people didn't read what the bill was actually about, and they thought it was for medicinal marijuana or recreational marijuana.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they
It was
passed
just
it.
for recreational everything.
It was just recreational everything else.
Everything. Yeah, not just marijuana, everything.
So,
Okay, let me ask you this, bro. So we are our own, I guess, best recruiters. Have you talked to some of your buddies, man, that tell them to come on down?
yeah. Problem is most of them are so vested up in there that it's hard to pull away. Because when I left at 5 years, you're talking a lot of my buddies were the 5 to 10 year mark. And so getting them to pull away now after they've been there for 10 years or 15 years, it's nah, they're not there. So I still follow all their social media stuff, and the people that get posted on the page, I'm I don't know who any of these people are. I see my buddies and stuff in the background, but when they're doing swearing in ceremonies or award ceremonies, I'm I don't know who anyone is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Does now.
Yeah, I was going to say we have a whole new.
If it wasn't for doing this, I wouldn't know a fraction of the people I do. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was an issue that we ran into because I think I lateraled over 6.5, almost 7 years. So you get in that phase, like you said, that 5 to 10 year mark, you just nah, bro, I'm good. Even though you know where you are, you're not happy, you're not getting paid. You're just no, I'm good. I don't want to change. I don't want to change. It's not that bad.
We're the worst about change.
Yeah.
Our profession is the worst about change.
Yeah. And so, so tell the people or our listeners about your experience as the lateral academy. Because did you have to do the entire thing?
So we were the first out of state laterals allowed to do the lateral academy.
Yeah.
And so we were doing the TCOL 1018 at the same time we were doing the academy, which is a 120-hour course online while we were doing the lateral academy at the same time, which was super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So trying to take in the entire penal code, CCP, everything, all at the same time while going through the normal academy was a lot. But it's much more streamlined now. If they're out of state, they do 1018 prior. We kind of guide them through that process and get that handled.
What is that exactly?
The 1018. So it's basically them challenging the test. So it checks the box for them to be able to take the TCOL test.
Okay.
So that's what they have to be able to take the TCOL test to be licensed.
Okay.
So
and that's for out-of-state
laterals.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because in state, you come over.
They're certified. They're good to go. Yeah.
You do
All they have to do
2 months.
No, it's actually 13 weeks because it used to be 10 weeks, and then with firearms and us going to red dots and things like that, patrol rifle being included, there's little classes that have added into that time so that when they hit the street, we're getting a more polished officer coming in, and it's not there's still not a bunch of, hey, we have to send them back for this, we have to send them back for this.
So are they? What's the deal with the red dots?
It just used to not be included in firearms, so now you have to. They can purchase a red dot. Our range master puts it on for them. They do the whole process. They do that whole process through there, and they're guided when they do the red dot transition. Like we all went through the red dot transition course, so that's just included in their basic firearms.
Okay, cool.
So
now, so irons still an option?
yep, irons are still an option. Cool. Yeah, one of the laterals right now, he said he's going to go with irons. We'll see once they go out to the range. Usually that changes their mind once they go out.
Really?
Yeah.
See, look, I did that. I was like, no, I'm old school. I'm going to stay with my iron sights. They were like, you don't want the red dot? Leave me alone.
I want the red dot. I just don't want to pay for it.
Well, that was the other part. But how much are red dots running? Around three? Probably $350.
It depends.
Yeah.
When I got mine from Holosun, we went through the Leo program that they had there, and so it was discounted.
Oh,
so
okay.
I don't know if they still use that program. I don't know if we can use that program or not. When we went through it, now we give them their holsters, we give them the base plate, we give them everything they need.
Oh,
when
cool.
we went through the process, it was like you had to buy all your own stuff and see if we like it.
Right.
So I just ignored my bank account for a little bit too because I didn't want to see how much I was having to spend on it.
That's my other thing or my other big obstacle anytime there's like new
Equipment.
gear stuff. Because I'm not like, I can use a gun, I can use a rifle, pistol, whatever. And I've always been a fairly decent shooter, but like as far as being the guy who obsesses about it and knows all different, it's not me. So if you're like, hey, do you like red dot? Sure. What brand do you like? I don't know. What brand are you going to put on my gun?
Is there a green dot version out there? I'll take a green one out.
Yeah, so they're like, oh, you need to get this plate, and they were talking about like having I don't know what the word is for it, but like they would have to grind out part of the slide or something. I'm like, that just sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
Just
Go
like,
get the slides and build.
I've been doing this for like 13 years with this. I'll be,
Yeah.
Well, that was me in the rifle. It was, they were like, oh, speaking of that, like we still have the rifle stipend, right?
Yep. We still do the rifle stipend.
Yeah. So, come on board. We'll give you some money to
Yeah.
get your rifle.
Or if you already have one, we'll just give you money because you already have one. So
oh, that's cool. I went out and bought a new one.
Yeah, you go get your high power, go get your nice scope. I think that's what I did because I was like, I have a rifle here. Get you a good scope and a light. You have to have a light or something.
yeah. I think there's some stipulation like within the last little bit of time, like you still have to have your receipts and all that kind of stuff. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just use this as an excuse to go get a new rifle.
Oh, yeah. That always works.
Yeah, but man, I'm like you. I'm not a gun guy. So I heard one LT was like, "Hey, clean your rifle," and I just handed it to my buddy. I'm
Oh,
like,
Jesus. That's not being a gun guy. That's just like not keeping up with your
I'm like, nah, I don't. No, they're like, oh, there's a little spring, and if that part comes out, then you may fire one time and then you're screwed. And I'm like, I don't know where the spring is, so I'd rather not fool with it. Let a professional do it. That's my thought.
You
man.
technically are the professional.
You're not when it comes to. That's why I don't carry a rifle.
There you go.
I just want to clarify. There is a difference between like my version of not gun people and your version of not gun people.
Oh man,
I'm not afraid to dust mine.
I just shoot mine. That's it. All right, so you're over at the training facility. Talk about that a little bit.
So I'm the academy coordinator now, so I run the basic and lateral academy.
You're the coordinator? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Read your email, bro.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I don't remember who was the last guy.
Garrett.
Where'd he go?
The range.
Oh,
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Excuse me.
Email pops up. Delete. Is it about a case I'm working? No, delete.
I get so much help with that. Didn't you read an email? Like, did it have a case number in it? 'Cause otherwise, no.
He just filters by case numbers.
Yeah, he's a detective, so we understand.
I get emails about employee door decoration contest,
Yeah.
calendar.
No.
I'm like, I don't need. I got enough stuff up
Stop. We appreciate those emails.
here. Anyway, congratulations to your new position.
So I took over that spot in September, I think.
Okay.
I'd already been out there for almost a year because I tore my ACL last October.
Okay.
And so, yeah.
Dang, doing what?
Playing softball.
We call those weekend warriors. Cut that out,
What's the
man.
point of being so much shape if you can't play softball without getting hurt?
So I don't think it wasn't like the normal freak accident where it's like rounding a base or something like that. Or like you see some of the professional guys where like they're literally backpedaling and then it snaps.
Right.
It was my so I was playing shortstop, and I went to go field a ball that was hit on the ground between myself and third, and I knew there was a runner from second to third. So I was going to try to grab it and snag it and throw it to third real quick. And I snagged it, and when I went to go plant to shift my momentum back, my foot was against the outfield grass, and it was a little higher. So when I went to go pivot on it, it just went. So like everything below my knee didn't move, and everything above my knee moved. And yeah. So it was loud enough that they could hear it in the outfield.
Holy crap.
Yeah, Stout was working David was working the outfield, so yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Now that actually is the funniest part of it. Not that your injury is funny, but because to hear Stout talk, Stout plays first and third.
Oh, he plays.
At the
He
same
plays.
time.
He didn't. He was always an outfield guy until I got hurt, and then he came over and took it on the infield. And he's a better shortstop than I was. So I'm like, you can have it.
No, don't say that.
I'll make his ego a little bit bigger. It's all right.
Dang. Well, I guess that kind of worked out then. And they gave you a little on-the-job training.
Yeah, I had no idea. Like, I had no plans to go out to the training. I was going to go upstairs if I was going to go anywhere.
Really?
And then I just was out there, and Garrett was getting ready to move, and he was like, "Hey, like, have you thought about this?" I was like, "Not really."
Yeah.
And so he kind of did some convincing, and then I went in and like shadowed him for a couple weeks, and I was like, "All right."
What was it that kind of sold you on it? Because like I look at that job, and that's the one of all the jobs in the department. That's the one I look at. I'm like, no interest in it.
Being able to get back towards the academy that I came in on, where it's more of the structured paramilitary, like kind of disciplined academy. Some of the we lost some of that through the COVID years and all that kind of stuff. And so getting back to that structure and being able to put that back in to where it looks more like what I would envision an academy would be like, or like what I went through. Yeah. So
Right.
yeah.
Just kind of like being able. So you have a lot of control where you're actually able to shape what the day in day out life looks like for those guys.
Yes.
What does your job look like?
Everything.
Okay.
So I, especially like even all of us over at the training center, you have to be able to step into any type of role to teach a class if someone can't be there. So being familiar with everything that's being taught. Like we have DT instructor stuff tomorrow, so that all of us can step in and do that. I hit the table. And
I've been accidentally hitting on my feet.
So, but being able to step in and do all that kind of stuff, as well as doing the stuff that I like to teach, which is like the CQT and the tactic stuff. But then also, on top of teaching it, I'm scheduling instructors. I'm building out their entire schedule for the entire like 15 or 32 weeks or whatever their schedule is. So making sure that it's tracked and it's easily tracked so that if TCOL comes in and audits us, I can say, oh, this is the class, these are the rosters, or I guess that's actually Logan's job to do the rosters. But
you have to do it.
I just have to provide them.
I get headphones on. I can tell he's not even listening.
But yeah.
And see, that's the big part of the job that I don't think, not only would I not enjoy, but I would just be god awful at. Like, I can hardly manage my own schedule.
So if it wasn't for the calendar on Outlook, I'd be lost. Like, I've never used that calendar before. And then I went over there and, like, I have to schedule everything.
Yeah.
I was horrible at Excel, and now I'm, like, not as horrible at Excel because I have to use it to build their schedules. And so it's been a change, but I like it.
Yeah.
So.
Does it get easier the longer you do it, like most things, I guess?
I think it probably changes class to class too. A lot of it depends on the cadets that you have. Like if you have a good group of cadets, they make your life a little easier. Like our last group of laterals, I told them, I was like, y'all are gonna spoil me because they were all very they were very disciplined. They were spun up, they were good to go. I could give them an assignment and they were good. I didn't have to worry about it. You know. We'll see how other classes go if it's the same or not.
Right.
So
I'm glad I didn't go through with him.
Yeah, right.
If you want to, like, when it comes to that what is it,
CQT?
See, I don't even know the initials, but me and all that SWAT training stuff, bro, me walking into a room
He's walking the dusty ass rifle.
With a rifle that has one shot. That's it, because it hasn't been cleaned.
He either has too much dirt or one spring.
It just goes down. He's like, here.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's funny. Nice. So you've only done one class, so I don't know.
Yeah, I've done one lateral class, and then I have the basics that are in now. And then today is actually day one for a new lateral class.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
How many?
For the laterals, it's only 2.
Okay.
We have 2 in the basic academy, but their start date is today.
Oh, okay.
But they won't actually start the academy until after this next test.
Yeah.
So we'll see if we can get a bigger group of basics so
Okay.
that we can have a bigger class.
Nice.
So
That'd be cool. So I don't imagine you really don't have any like funny stories from.
no,
from
I mean,
yet.
not too many.
Right.
It's still fun to like see them go through like the scenarios and stuff like that. And
Oh, that's funny even for existing cops.
So like when I did it first with the laterals, and you see like the laterals do it, and you expect laterals to perform a certain way, and then like you go into it after watching laterals to then watching the basics do it, and it's like oh wait, hold on, we have to back this way down, and
Yeah.
the training wheels have to be like a lot more extended, and
Man, you have to give me training wheels every time I know it's a scenario. Like if I jump in a squad car and I go to some fight in a crack house, I'm not worried at all. If you put that same scenario and make it fake in a controlled environment and someone's grading me, I'm gonna mess it up 100%. I'm gonna do something stupid.
it's the same as FTO. When you're in
yeah.
FTO and someone's grading you, it's like, oh, I'm gonna mess up. I'm gonna do this. Like something's gonna go wrong. And then the second you're out by yourself, you're like, oh, I got this. Like, like what was I worried about?
Yeah.
You just relax. So
Yeah, I remember. I thought FTO would be a breeze after having doing it already, and then I get in the car and not at all. It's terrible.
They're asking, "Are you a lateral?" Like, yes, man. I know what I'm doing. Leave me alone.
I remember I was. It's funny. My desk is right next to the guy who was my first phase FTO, and I tried to mark out on the. I have been doing okay, but we changed our radio traffic here versus where I came from, and turns. I keep I messed it up 4 different times in a row. And dispatch, for some reason, was just decided that day they were done hearing me do it the wrong way. And so anytime I would mess it up, instead of like cutting me a break and saying, hey, I know what the hell you're trying to say, I'll just mark you out. They were just like, I need you to repeat your traffic. And so I just 4 different times in a row until I got it right. And then by the time I walked up to the guy's car, I'm just like, I don't even know why I'm here anymore. I know where I am. I know what your license plate is. I know what order it goes into. But I was like, you can go because
It's a courtesy stop.
Yeah, I'm not here mentally.
Yeah, I had a lieutenant standing behind me at the time, and he was standing back there like this, and it was making me nervous. And I'm like, man, I've done 500 traffic stops, but I'm like, he's still back there. Okay, maybe I need to do something. And he's just like, damn, KD, can you want to hurry up? I'm like, man, okay. I said, you're free to go. Yeah, everybody gets nervous. I don't know.
Well, too, depending on where you come from, because like for me, seeing a lieutenant. Like, I'm not going to see you unless you're trying to get me fired. Like, and so to see that here, and it's like they're like, "Oh no, we're just out."
Yeah, we're just.
We're just
I'm your back. No, you ain't. You back there grading what you doing. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, a little different culture.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you said or before this job, the only thing that you can see yourself doing is going upstairs.
Yep.
You still want to be a detective?
At some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I want to promote at some point, but I want to have experience, like at least be kind of well-rounded and understand everything before I do that. So, yeah. But I like what I do now. Like it's not. I'm hoping that I'm trying to break the trend for the 2-year and out academy coordinator.
That's how I know that job is stressful, because everyone who goes in is
not there.
They're not there long, and it's like they need a break.
Yeah,
which is cool that there's always people who want to give it a shot. And you have a lot of guys who wind up rotating back in the academy in some facilities, some facets. So obviously it's not like it's a bad environment per se, but it's just like you can tell it's one of those. It's a lot.
And like the guys before me, Garrett and Jim and Nathan were all like really good in setting it in motion to where it's like a lot easier for me. So they've all made it better before, like for me, and so like that's what I want to do, make it better for the next person. But we did a really good job the last like 6 months or so of kind of divvying up the duties that kind of all fell onto one person and be like, well, why this is this person's lane, like they can go over, they can handle this, it doesn't need to be something that's handled over here. And so that's helped out a lot, because if I was having to do like what Garrett was having to do, like I could see like it would definitely, like what he was having to manage and stuff as far as like range duties or helping out with range duties and like armor stuff and everything like that. That's why I'm cool with not being an armorer, so that I can just.
But now he's doing that 100% of the time.
Now he's doing that 100% of the time, so
kind of frees you up a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good. I'll take him my rifle.
Yeah. He'll make fun of you and then make you do it while he watches you.
Yeah.
I'll learn.
I had more questions. I don't know where they were though.
All right. So usually for all our guests, we try to tell them to come up with a funny story. So years of experience. Give me. Yeah.
Did you have warning this question was coming?
I mean, I've seen the podcast, so
Okay.
but no, I didn't. I wasn't thinking about it. A funny story. I don't really have anything that like jumps out as far as. I mean, like academy stuff. There's not really much stuff that's going on.
It's just that squared away.
No, there's stuff, but some of it's probably too new, and I don't want to make them feel bad. Like put it on blast like right now. Let's see, I think my old agency even. I think responding, and not necessarily funny, but responding code in the middle of a tornado was probably one of my like most memorable moments up there. So
Most Oklahoma shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what?
We were we had a tornado hit the west side of the county, and we were all responding to the courthouse to then be like divvied up out from there.
Sure.
And like I was driving down the highway, couldn't see anything. Like you had hail like beating in on the windows, and yeah.
Okay. Wait.
Yeah, I wouldn't be in a hurry to get there.
I would have quit that day.
Did you see them when the tornado was there?
Where's KD? We see his car going the opposite way on that map. He is headed to Texas, Mel. What the hell?
Yeah.
Ain't no way.
Oh yeah.
Well, although it's kind of where my nerd side's going to come out, but especially like during the daytime, the cops actually play a fairly big role in tracking tornadoes and where they are in real time. Because most people are taking shelter, and so you look at the radar, you're 1, 2, 3 minutes delay.
Yeah.
Whereas you're getting calls in from someone like you that's like, hey, I'm pretty sure it's here because I don't have a windshield anymore. And it kind of gives you a better idea what you're looking at.
Yeah. That's probably one of the crazier things.
So why'd they dispatch you to the tornado?
They didn't. So they weren't dispatching to us. We knew that when it hit the trailer park, I was working a part-time job, like an off-duty here. So I was working on off-duty. I heard it hit, and they put out on the radio for anyone that was available to respond to the courthouse, and then that we were going to be dispatched in groups from there to go respond to the search parties. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So,
But
yeah, we were still in the middle of it when we were all driving in.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But lesson learned. I mean, future, wait till it goes away.
Maybe
give it 10, 15 minutes.
I'd have been in the back of the line. No, you go here, bro. You got this one.
I'll catch up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh man. Well, bro, I've enjoyed this one.
Yeah, that's funny. That's the first time I've heard of all the things to imagine an Oklahoma lateral come in and say, yeah, going to a tornado sucks. that makes the most sense.
Yep.
Well, we haven't had any tornadoes here.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, because I was parked up under a bridge for one of them, and it pulled my freaking door up backwards. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, we had some pretty bad ones back in 19. I know, because that's the one that hit the east side of Dallas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Maybe I was at home.
It's right off of 75, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had, and even in this city, we've had a few. Because remember, there was some tornado damage very recently where they had guys working OT, like securing locations afterwards.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, before we go, you have any advice or words of wisdom for officers coming in laterals or otherwise?
So big thing is PT. Like make sure that like even if you pass the PT test, you're doing what you need to do to maintain that and get better, because once you start the academy, the requirements go up from what you have to do just to make it in the door.
So your test is not your upper threshold.
Yeah.
That's kind of your starting point.
Yeah, that's your starting point.
Gotcha.
So test gets you through the test and into the hiring process. But once you get into the academy, the requirements go up. And anything that you can do to start studying like penal code, CCP type stuff to kind of get your foot in the door there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No, good advice, because, and I want to say, you can let me know if it's still the same. You almost get ranked according to your PT and the written test.
Yeah, I think it's your written test, and then I don't know if quote me if I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I don't think the PT stuff goes into the where you fall on the civil service side of the
Didn't used
sheet.
to.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's just your test. But everyone that looks at your book looks at your PT.
Right.
So the chiefs look at it. Your background investigator looks at it. I look at it. So we all see that when we're going through and talking, and then your board members look at it too. So
Yeah, so do your best.
yeah.
Yep. All right.
Awesome, man. Well, we sure appreciate it.
Cool.
And again, congratulations on your new position.
I know that.
I just found out about it.
Yep.
All right.
Appreciate
Awesome.
it.
All right. Till next time.